welcome back to Onslaught Gaming, and today we have two guests here to help, illuminate us on the faction of Grey Knights. So to introduce them, we have Mr. Garrett.
Hey, what's up? Garrett. Been playing Warhammer like 12, 13 years. I've been on this show a couple times. Lou's a good friend of mine. Been playing Grey Knights about a year and a half. Got a YouTube channel where I do a bunch of Grey Knight stuff. But I'm really excited to be here. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah, and his YouTube channel is Objective Secured 40K. Great stuff over there. Check it out. And then we also have Mr. David Ozawa himself here.
How's it going? Been playing. I'm David Ozawa. Been playing Grey Knights. Maybe 12 years, 10, 12 years. And then I've been playing since the end of 5th edition. It's been quite a while. But yeah, do pretty successful with them, and I always go back to Grey Knights. Like I might practice some other armies sometimes, but I always end up going back to Grey Knights. You the same way, Garrett? Yeah.
Grey Knights works. Yeah, I can't play anything else, dude. Can't play anything else.
Yeah. I get like 5 games into another thing because I always play different stuff at tournaments, and I'm like, I hit these armies. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I want to do that. So then I play it on Tabletop Simulator, or like, I have like the armies, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like I like what this does. I play it like 5 times, and then I understand it. I understand why it's weak, like where the weaknesses are, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to Grey Knights. It's consistently happened. I'd say it's consistently happened for years for me. So it's just like I always.
It's a good palate cleanser. To switch, but then when you come back, I always feel like I'm a little better actually when I come back. So,
me too.
Yeah.
I feel like I learned some new rules of that other army, and I come back with like a better, the enemy mindset.
Agreed.
Yep. So, perfect segue there, Dave. You said you've been playing, since end of 5th edition. I think a good place to start, like always, is why Grey Knights? What drew you in and what keeps bringing you back to them? And then, Garrett will go to you as well for your, history of the faction.
Well, back when we had a psychic phase, I mean, it was go, but I guess 10th edition had a psychic phase, right? Anyway, I think I used to play. So I started with Eldar, and that was my first army. I still own it. It's one of the only army I never sold. One of the original armies I never sold. My favorite play was the Seer Councils, and I love Psychic, and I love the Psychic phase. But I always wish I had better shooting and better combat. And then I realized I really liked the way Grey Knights played because it hit every single phase. Movement was very important. You had guns, so you shot, and you had combat, and almost every single unit in the army did all 3. You hit every phase. You hit movement, you hit shooting, you hit fighting, and back then you also hit psychic. Now you hit shooting and fighting, and it's almost every unit. So no matter what the job is, I can kind of adapt. So it's kind of funny. A lot of times I'll play shooting armies. Tau or Admech or something, and they make this comment to me. They go, because if I'll do well, which I usually do, they say, "Oh, I'm not very good against combat armies." But then when I fight close combat armies, I get the same comment. I'm like, "I'm not very good against shooting armies," and I find,
I'm there.
Yeah. I find that what happens is, I have the toolbox to deal with a wide range of things, and then I see the opponent. And then this is where the adaptability of the army comes in. I say, "Oh, you're world eaters. You out combat me for sure. Well, I'm going to lean on my shooting more. I still have my combat to go in when I need to, but I'm going to lean more on my shooting, and I'm going to wither the battle through the shooting phase, and I'm going to win the battle probably in the combat phase at the end because I'm going to run in and then finish this off." And then the same thing with Tau. Oh, really, really good at shooting. You outshoot me. I'm going to play that movement, and I'm going to measure the angles, and I'm going to measure everything right. But now I have to rely more on my combat. And when I go in, I'm going to try to do devastatingly. I'm going to save the command points. I'm going to strategize to hit those perfect combat strides. So it's just like that ability to say, oh, what I need to do, this is what I'm going to do. Back when there was a psychic phase, sometimes I would have to say, oh, you were really good at a lot of things, and you have good armor. I used to be like, oh, I'm going to rely more on the psychic phase because I can do smite and I can manipulate different things with the psychic phase. Can't do that much anymore, but you still have the shooting and combat. And of course, movement is good. So that's the main reason.
Psychic is a nerf. Yeah, now being psychic is just an active nerf these days.
I think a lot of the psychic weapons are a little bit tuned a little bit higher in the strength. Because I feel like our nemesis weapons are like, because I see like power weapons across the board like strength 5, but the nemesis weapons hit the psychic phase, hit the psychic tag on them, strength 6. I don't know. But
maybe.
yeah,
I believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, now it sucks to have that psychic keyword in the overlay there. Just like Garrett
does. Too many rules in this game to be psychic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just love the adaptability of the army. I love being able to go in and not have like a set strategy. I kind of have like an idea of what I want to do depending on the matchup, but then I can easily adapt and kind of like overcome. And like none of the other armies in the game, like nobody really does that except for maybe Custodes, but they're not psychic, so they didn't have a psychic phase back then. Imperial Knights too, they could shoot and fight all well.
Yeah, Tyranids
do it, but you know, Tyranids have dedicated shooting units and dedicated combat units.
Yeah.
You have dedicated shooting and combat units like that do. I mean, you have the Stormlord and stuff.
No, I was going to say it's a very similar feeling with Tyranids, except our units, for the most part, don't do both. It is a one or the other, and you just bring both. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, but,
exactly. I like to do both with every unit versus bringing the shooting units and then bringing the combat units.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
100% efficiency is it's a hell of a rule or hell of an ability.
Anyway, that's the main reason I always go back to Grey Knights.
Okay, no, that's a solid. I've actually never heard anyone describe Grey Knights as a, toolbox type of army, so that's super interesting and new to me.
Yeah,
I agree 100% as well with David. Yeah.
I mean, you do have our tanks with the Land Raiders and the Razorbacks and stuff. Those are going to be shooting platforms, but like for the most part, every single infantry unit and every single this is like the Nemesis Dread Knights and stuff. Everything has shooting and combat built in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything to add to that perspective, Mr. Garrett?
My Grey Knight journey is a lot different, actually. So I started this hobby around 5th edition as well, like when I was like a sophomore, junior in high school. But I was with orcs. So I played orcs like a one-trick orc person. Like if you ask all my best friends, they also think of me as like an orc guy. And frankly, I still do love orcs as well. But I had just came back to play 10th edition. And I was playing Green Tide orcs when they were broken. I didn't really know what was broken or whatever. I was like really fresh coming to the competitive, like about 2 years ago, right? And Mike Mizeni is like my best friend, right? And I was like, hey Mike, so like if I want to get good at this game, like what's a faction that you think like is a lot of skill expression and then I can handle a lot of matches really well? And he was like, oh well, you should look at either Space Marines or Grey Knights. I think Grey Knights are an army that has a lot of skill expression. It handles a lot of matchups really well if you play well, etc., etc. So I picked up Grey Knights. It got my ass kicked for probably like 3 months. I think I lost my first like 11 games with Grey Knights, trying to learn the faction, learn the builds and stuff. And then eventually I don't know, something clicked and I was like, okay, cool. I get this army now, and now I probably have like 89% win rate or something with this faction. Like I love this army. It's a ton of fun. I mean, if I go to GT, I would be disappointed if I was worse than 4-1, basically. Like when I bring the faction, so really confident with it. I love the play style, and they also look badass, right? The pointy helmets, with the gold and the freaking blue and the purple. They're awesome. Like the Demon Hunter game really solidified my love for this army. If you guys haven't played or heard of it, it is XCOM for Grey Knights, which is badass, dude.
Dude, I keep getting destroyed in that game. I refuse to play on anything but like one of the harder difficulties.
Oh yeah.
I probably should go back to the normal difficulty, but it's just so good that
Yeah, I just logged in.
Yeah.
I just play Terminators. I have, my squad is like all Terminators basically. I just run around.
Right.
You don't really take cover when you play Terminators that much. You just get shot, and it's like you're like whatever. But
I just found out you can Aegis shield right before you activate the enemy's pods.
yeah,
And then you have the Aegis shield on their movement. And I was like, oh, and they're fighting when they fight you. So
yeah.
I played that game.
But yeah, Grey Knights are awesome, and I agree with David said. Like being able to, once you've played, I imagine David's got over 100 reps of this army, in this edition, right? So as you get reps into these factions, right, you're like, okay, cool. If I stand, 19.1 inches away from this army, like I'm invincible, I can just shoot him twice. Like you sort of develop those kind of like distance ranges in your head, and all of a sudden, like all these matchups just start to feel like so repeatable to where you're not even really worried about, oh, am I going to get dice or whatever? You just know it's going to work out for you because you can position yourself exactly where you need to be all the time, which is other armies can't do. Frankly, the only army that can do it is Deathwatch, and I think they have actually a worse matchup spread than Grey Knights. That's a hot take, but I think Deathwatch has a worse matchup spread than Grey Knights, just because Grey Knights can flex, like David said. But that's my little thing on them. I love this army. My goal is to be #1 ITC this year for Grey Knights. I'm number 5 right now, so that's my goal, #1.
Have you got it before?
No.
Got it 1 year.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, you don't need to do it. Leave it for me, bro. Leave it for me.
Well, right now I'm back at school, so
yeah. All it is it's really just like how many majors can you go 6 and 2 at? It's sort of like obviously if you win one, like David won Crucible 1 year, I assume that's the year you got it.
Yeah, I went I can't remember. I have to go look at the trophy, but yeah.
Yeah, show it to me sometime, bro. I want to see it. But that's my personal goal this year is to finish #1 Grey Knight.
So that's good.
Yeah, that's my goal. We'll see if I can do it. Who knows?
Fantastic, yeah. I hope you do. It's great. Number 5, you're well on your way. So kind of, you guys have, played it for a while, played it for the majority of 10th, it's safe to say, if not all of 10th. What are some, I don't want to use the word builds, we kind of said you can kind of be toolboxy, but what are kind of some detachments or units maybe you've leaned more towards as you've gotten those reps, as you said?
You want to go first, David, or you want me to go?
You go. I mean, I can go first if you want. You go first. You go ahead.
I mean, I've got one you probably aren't going to mention. So basically, I've been playing Banishers for the last month and some change. I've been experimenting with anywhere from 10 Terminator brick all the way up to 30 Terminators, which is like 3 Terminator bricks. And I think that actually a 10-man Paladin brick is really strong right now in Banishers and kind of the way the game is. And I've had a lot of success with it. I think Banishers in general is really good on paper, and if you pilot it really well, it's just one of the most rewarding ways to play that I've found. I love Banishers a ton, so I think that bricks of Terminators in that detachment are a ton of fun. I think they're super underrated. Having OC bricks of 30 wounds, 3 wound guys with 4 vulnerables that revive, that can advance in charge, that can reactively move off the table, that hit on 2s with 8-1-2 guns, super flexible. They're flat 3 damage on the charge. So they can, and you can kill any big target. If you hit your lethal hits, they 1-tap a knight almost every time on the charge. And then you go tag a Helverin, and then if they fall back, you pick up with mists, and then wrap it on the other side of the table and charge their other big knight. It's just so much fun. Banishers has been a ton of fun for me when I stopped trying to be cute and just was here's 30 meat hogs, let's go. And then I started having a lot more success. So. Warpaint obviously is badass, but Banishers has easily been the most fun I've had. Warpaint's better, to be clear. Warpaint's much better. But Banishers, I think, is a lot of fun.
No, I used to play that style nonstop in the Index when that's attachment with the shadows, which was the mist. Also had it had the built-in enhancement where if you got targeted by a range attack, you could jump away too.
It's so much tool. The Index attachment was perfect, man.
The Index attachment was kind of nuts. But then they took all the good stuff from the Index attachment and then they sprinkled it over the other attachments. So it's
like the Dragon Balls, dude.
So I kind of
I
miss.
believe the sigil is in Saintic Spearhead as a relic or an enhancement now.
For some reason, it
Yeah.
sure is.
Yeah, they took the sigil and put it in the spearhead, which if it was advantagers, I'd probably be playing advantagers. But
Oh my god. Oh, don't even tease me, bro.
right now,
But yeah, that's me. I mean, you go ahead, David. Yeah.
what's that?
That's me. I mean, I like the Solo Librarian, but you pretty much invented that, so I'm definitely not going to take any credit for that.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't. I really invent that. I saw people online doing it, and then I tried it out. And I was like, "This is really like." I tried it out pretty on like that first week. I was like, "This is really good." I really like 80-point guy that puts out D6+3 blast shots. Like it was built in. It's built like the Solo Librarian is built in screen when you need screen, and he's built in Action Monkey. And he's built in sacrificial, like you need to go out there and get some points or something. You can go out there and die and get 80 points. You get the points for 80 points. I love
It's really efficient.
Sorry, my son's screaming.
No, I just said he's really efficient. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, he's really efficient for damage 2 shots with blast. D6+3. No, the mainstay is the purifiers. I always have 20 and 25 of those usually nowadays. The mainstay is that one strike squad. I'm sure Garrett has a one strike squad. It's kind of like the equivalent to the intercessors and Marines.
just for 120 points.
Yeah, for 120 points.
Yeah.
You have the one squad of intercessors in there. I actually debate about taking it out sometimes just to save some points and putting like some tech marine back there, but then I always talk myself out of it.
Me too, bro. Me too. All the time it comes up in my head, and I'm like, wait a minute. I pick this guy up on turn 4 like every game, and he goes and does something very useful. So it's like,
Not only that, some people that do like sticky 5, they're like, oh, he's sticky 5, and just jump up, jump down, and it's gone.
yeah, they're too useful to take. I played two strike squads in a lot of my Warpaint lists now.
Sometimes I have 2, but like the problem with them is that sometimes they just don't have the damage I need in some matchups. So I usually stick with purifiers, pro. Sometimes I think about dropping him, but I always put him back in. He's just too useful. He's too good of a force multiplier. And then I like Razorbacks right now. I use Razorbacks in almost all my events. Dread Knight, I have 1 or 2. And then the Librarian, those are like my mainstays. Razorbacks are like I play a high tempo game now. It's not like back in the old days when you could get a 2+ symbol save.
Yeah.
With your nemesis warding saves in combat, you could get you could put yourself on a 4+ and go to a 3+, and then the saves give you +1 in combat. It's not like that anymore. So you got to be able to trade with a high tempo for Grey Knights. And Grey Knights don't trade well because they're like 120 points per squad. So I've been trading with the Razorbacks, which I find it kind of fluffy too, because like you're gonna go trade, you're gonna go send your Psyker out there to go die, like your Grey Knight squad. This is only like 1,000 Grey Knights, so send the Razorback out there.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Razorbacks. I actually never really considered them until we started talking like a year ago or whatever. I started throwing them in, and if you go watch some of my earlier YouTube videos, I was like, Razorbacks are so broken, and that was like the first event I tried them after talking with David, basically, and I was like, holy shit, I can like fire and fade into these, I can scout with them, I can move block with them, I can go get area denial and not feel terrible. You know what I mean? It's like, it's super useful. Like when I play Warpaint, I play minimum 2, sometimes some of my lists have 4. You know what I mean? Land Raider also, I know we both have played a bit. I think the Land Raider is super valuable in Grey Knights as well, because we don't really have that brick to go sit on an objective. You know what I mean? So like throwing a Land Raider on your expansion objective can like buy you a whole turn a lot of the time. And it's just super, super valuable.
It used to. Nowadays, it gets one shot a lot by a lot of stuff.
This game is, compared to like 4 or 5 months ago, this game is so lethal. That's why I switched to Terminators. I'm like, look, I'm gonna have 3 loan up 18 bricks that have a bunch of 4 vulnerables. You can't just hit me once with a AP 5 ignore cover gun and kill me. Not gonna happen. No. So I'm off the Land Raiders at Warpaint right now. too much. The Packbound Zealot, the Filer.
No, the Filer.
Don't even get me started.
I thought you were just saying pack down zealots and leave it there, like because they that army just does enough damage.
Bro,
Yeah,
and imagine how much damage it did before, and then it's like doubled, basically.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Reroll all hits and all wounds, and even one just for one turn is all you need. So.
And then you can't even shoot at the damn thing back, bro. It gets blown up 18 for 1 CP. Oh my god.
Yep.
Infuriating. 250 points. A Dread Knight with an enhancement is 245.
Look, all we can hope that come in the new edition, you know, you can take Sanctic and Banishers, so you can just take the Sigil enhancement and be happy.
We'll see. That'd be a lot of stratagems for 3 DP, but you never know.
If I could juggle with it, bro.
Sorry, David. Go ahead.
No, like I said, if I could do that, I might jump away from Warp Bane, because right now I'm like stuck on the Warp Bane because it's just so consistent on the go turn. It's like one of the most consistently consistent go turns I've ever had.
Yep, hit with 93% of your shots. I'm happy. I'll always take that, bro.
Yeah.
So kind of building off of that, what does Warp Bane do? What is the rule that you're playing with? You're talking about the consistency there.
Well, most army hits on 3s. So unless you're playing like Paladin, so you get reroll ones to hit always, and then you get full reroll hits if you're holding if you're in hollow ground, which is like holding at least half the center of your own deployment zone. So just getting hollow ground up, it's not too hard to get. You can even do like ways of getting it without exposing yourself by throwing interceptors out there, holding an objective, shooting with them, and then picking up the hollow ground and moving back to safety because it checks at the start of the phase and it lasts for the whole phase. So just getting the consistency with full reroll to hits is good. That's the main issue I have with the other detachments is like I played some of the other detachments and then when I go in and I just like flub my shots because I rolled I rolled 6 sight cannon shots and I end up failing like 3 or 4 and then I'm like,
Yeah, like our data sheets, like compared to Eldar or whatever, like our data sheets don't have any built-in consistency outside of purifiers, basically, right? The Grandmaster in combat, sure, but that like never happens. But we don't really have any help on our data sheets to hit anywhere. Yeah. So when you go you read all these things like, cool, you're an army that hits on 3s that doesn't get to reroll anything, and hitting on 3s sounds good, but that's actually 66%, right? That's like 67%. If you were to you're gonna bank your go turn on 67%, right? And then after wounding, right now you're all of a sudden you're wounding with like 20% of your shots. It's like really sad, and then they have saves, so it's like, so
yep.
That's why Warp Bane is so good because we hit with every shot basically. If any army had that, they'd have like 80% win rate.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, they have Canoptic Court, the one for 1,000 Suns that they have.
It's kind of like
quite as good.
Kind of like Army White Oath at the moment, honestly, but without the plus one to hit.
Yeah, because it works in melee too. If we didn't say that, it's melee and shooting the reroll.
Yeah.
So it's just super efficient. Then purifiers, David didn't mention it, but purifiers actually create an aura of hollow ground of 6 inches, and they're in it all the time themselves. So now all of a sudden your Crow Brick is permanently re-rolling to hit on Overwatch with me and David. Shout out to David, by the way. He's played Silencers first. But Silencers is like my favorite gun. They're sustained hits. So on Overwatch, it's a 24-inch Overwatch with precision with sustained hits. So it averages like 16 hits on Overwatch from 24 inches away. And then on top of that, if they're within 18, you get another 24 Purifying Flame shots full reroll to hit, and then another 28 Stormbolter shots full reroll to hit at a Crow's unit. So you can't walk in. Walking in front of Crow is very bad for infantry. And you can rapid Overwatch. You can do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I'll rapid Overwatch, especially against guard.
Bro, you ever rapid Overwatch and then still pick him up?
Oh yeah, usually I do.
Oh, that's aura, dude. That's crazy. He pops in, kills your whole unit, and then leaves, bro. It's so badass.
I do that all, especially when the guard player, when I'm playing guard, It's weird. I don't know how, but I have like a super high win rate against guard.
Yeah, I don't know. You're psycho.
I'm always able to just measure where their angles are going to be off their tanks, and then I just play around that. And then like the rest they're sending out there is infantry, and all of my stuff just like hyper good in the infantry. So it's like I just play around the threat, and then I just kill everything that comes out. But no, usually like the guard. Usually like I'll make a play, and I'll like come forward with something, and then they'll like rapid ingress their the horses.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right. So then like I have my big squad in there because I know they're gonna do it. So then they'll move up, and then I rapid ingress my crow squad, and then I'll Overwatch. Usually kills all the horses.
Yeah.
Before they
sure
start.
does, dude. Sure freaking does. And then you pick him up again, baby. He goes right up. So cool.
And then I turn to pick him up again. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. My crow unit
That's worth
is my crow unit I treat as the most precious little guy in the whole universe. My crow unit like just never gets interacted with. I love that. He's just the safest person.
saying half my games my crow unit goes and dies around round 1 or 2. And
Bro.
I like it. But when I see the opportunity on the board to go do it, I just go.
Never, bro. See, that's where me and David are different, right? Like, I will never even consider that, ever. My crow is going to be in the game till turn 5, or no matter what. Don't care.
6-inch deep strike and charge, a 6-inch deep strike. So I always save the 2 CP when I do it, but the 6-inch deep strike charge is like a 92 point something, like a 92.5% chance with a reroll to hit a 6-inch charge with a reroll. So I always go for it when I see the shot to do it. Sometimes I trade under with it. Like there was a loaded
with crow. You 6-inch deep strike. You 6-inch deep strike and charge with crow. Holy cow! This guy is a psycho.
Down with too. Like when I almost won Crucible this year, but Lennon got me on the top table. I kind of got in my own head because I was on stream and I made some mistakes. I thought about that a lot, but in that one, the first round I played was against Wool Eaters. And I looked at the board, and I looked at his board. He went first, and I saw 6-inch deep strike charge with crow, and it was going to trade way under. But I knew if I did it, it was going to move the flow of the game away from the objectives. So it did it, and that's what happened. It moved the whole flow of the game away from the objectives, and I was basically like.
Or you could have shot him 4 times. And move the flow of him off the objective.
I don't ever go for that unit unless I see hybrid. And
I mean,
it loses 1 all the time. Turn 2.
I cannot remember the last time I even charged with crow at all. Like it even made a charge roll. That guy, dude.
And just a 6-inch charge without shooting him if I have to.
Like I 6-inch deep strike crow to shoot, to get a better angle to shoot somebody.
I have so many games of Grey Knights. It's funny. I probably have over 11 or 1,200 games of Grey Knights. This edition, I have a lot of games. Sometimes I can look at the board and then like I kind of see what's going on, and if I understand what the other army does, I know when I should strike with that squad. Even if it's going to trade under, and I'll just do it. But it takes good experience to do that. I don't recommend doing it unless you know exactly how to match.
Me either, bro. Yeah. But obviously it works for you. Like, that's just funny. Because I do coaching and stuff, right? So some of the guys that I coach for this faction, they're like just always trying to commit suicide with crow. And I'm like, bro, please. Put him 18 inches away, bro. Please. Stop.
I stack crows unit. I'd say 25% of my games. If I see if I'm able to get a lot of value out of it, I'll do it.
Well, maybe I need to look into adding that to my playbook because I don't know. I just can't even fathom that. So you have to show me sometime.
The reason why it works is because the crow brick is the biggest threat in their whole army almost. Pretty much.
Exactly.
So you send it in and it goes and gets a kill or whatever and does what it does. The other army has to kill it. I'd say there's maybe 1 out of every 20 games, I'll send the crow brick in and the other army doesn't dive it. And I'll just win that game almost always because I just pick up crow and go do it again somewhere else. So no matter where the crow brick goes in, the other army has to dive it. So I know they're going to dive it. And then when they dive it, and I know it's going to open up the rest of the board.
I mean, I totally like understand the thought process. I just
You gotta
have
have
to see it.
very, very risky play, but I do it. I don't know. I just look at the board and I weigh my risk, and then I just if I think it's worth it, I do it all the time.
I mean, bro, listen, if we're at the same event, call me over before you do it, bro. I want to see. I want to see it.
I had the Cobra to pass round 3. I don't think it's ever happened.
Now, you know what? The end. My end game is the Crow unit and the Strike Squad. Every game I play, basically, that's my end game.
I wish I had my Crow unit at the end of the game. Maybe I should play
Well,
more.
maybe if you stop fucking killing it, it's every turn. You'd have it, bro.
Last time I passed round 3, man. That unit goes and does its job.
Hey, I mean,
yeah.
So,
it's funny.
this has been fantastic.
Well, either way, I mean, it works for both of us, so whatever. I love it.
Yeah, no, two different ways to play the same army, like you're saying. It's a toolbox. And I never see where you're coming from, David.
What'd you say?
Perfectly screaming, which happens all the time. There was a Tyranid game, not Tyranid game. There was a Tau game recently, but the guy screaming almost perfectly. They still got to account for that Razorback with the purifiers in it, moving 12 inches into their screen and then getting out guys. And all of a sudden now there's hollow ground right in the middle of their army, and I can just drop Crow right in the middle.
So you drop the third purifier unit, not Crow. That's what I do.
Sometimes
So
I do that too.
Yeah, so I 6 even I can charge the third 5-man. So I play a 5-man with 2 guns, a 5-man all melee, and then the Crow unit with guns, right? And then I do the side cannon 5-man in the Razorback, like you said. That goes 12. You get out 3. That's 15. Then these 6-inch deep strikes, you go 21 with the melee one, and the melee one shoots and kills whatever garbage, and then runs into something else. But
see, the difference between Garrett and I is I play tempo right now. I think Garrett doesn't play tempo as much. I think Garrett plays more the brick style, right?
So Warpaint, no, but in Banishers, yeah. In Banishers, I play bricks. Warpaint, my Warpaint list is like 3 Dread Knights, 3 Razorbacks, 3 Purifiers, 2 Interceptors, 2 Strike Squad. That's like my Warpaint list. It's like super basic. It's not that interesting, but that's what I play for Warpaint. Yeah. Like I just play. I don't charge ever. I hate charging. Basically, I like never charge anything.
You say you started with orcs.
Yeah. Also, like, yeah, dude. I tell my channel all the time, like, if I'm charging, it's an emergency situation. Basically, if I'm doing a charge, it's like it's something bad's happened, and I'm unhappy about it. Basically, I hate charging.
I charge like every turn. I love charging.
No, this guy. I'm Tau. Mike says I play Granites like Tau.
Oh, he does? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I do. I watched Tau play, and I was like, wait a minute.
I love to charge. I charge it. Unless the math's not there and I'm not going to drop the unit, but I charge all the time.
I charge maybe once or twice a game.
So I do the 6-inch deep strike charge all the time, and it's a 90% chance, so I don't feel bad about risking the game.
No, it's a great play. I maybe do it twice an entire tournament.
I do it every.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, if it's a 7-inch charge, they don't do it as much because all of a sudden it's like an 83% chance. So I'm like, am I gonna risk the game on that? I don't know.
It's a 75.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, man, that's all right. We went on the whole thing there, but that's
No,
funny.
that's
I
great.
didn't know you did that, David. I love it.
Yeah, two different ways you can same exact unit, even in the same attachment. So
I've been moving more towards Incinerators lately, just because of the strength 6. I do like the Purifiers, but with the Silencers, that's probably my favorite way to play. But right now, I'm like, if I hit that like night matchup, then I'm like, all right, I really want these wounding on 5 with full rerolls.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. The game switched a little bit, for sure. I haven't played Warpaint in like 2 months, so.
Yeah, the 2+, the winning on 6s against some of the big stuff. Ever since the Catan came out, it's been kind of rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just tell my captain, hey, I'm not playing that, bro. Figure it out.
Same.
Hey, Garrett, what's your matrix into triple Catan? No, bro.
Yeah, it's not a good match. Triple Catan.
I just won't be playing that, sir.
I think they're a little bit more manageable now that Shattered Star, you can't move them after you shoot them. So you can like shoot half your army then, and they just start moving, and now you can't shoot your other half of the army, and you're like, oh, well.
I mean, fun fact, I've literally never played the matchup. So.
You never done it?
And I won't.
That's terrible.
I will never play it.
That's what this is.
The only time I'll play it is if I hit it in singles on accident. And I'll never practice against it, and I'll never pick it in teams. So I'm safe.
You have to really, I don't know. You have to play aggressive, but not aggressive at the same time. It's a weird matchup.
Yeah. I imagine it's annoying. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, this has been fantastic so far, but we have to, get a word from our sponsors real quick, and when we come back, we'll actually go right into, some of your favored and unfavored matchups, whether that be armies, missions, or layout.
Welcome to Big Bear 3D, your ultimate destination for top quality terrain and weapon props. Whether you're setting the stage for your next epic battle or enhancing your collection, Big Bear 3D has you covered. Don't forget to scan the QR code to explore our full range and bring the event home with you. Happy gaming! Big Bear 3D is excited to collaborate with Away Games, bringing top-tier competitive experiences to events across North America with our adaptable modular event tables. The Away Games event table, official for the American Team Championship and standard for the National Tabletop League, can now bring the event home. Pick up the Away Games 2024 event table to replicate any layout featured in ATC or NTL circuit events. Big Bear 3D is thrilled to offer sci-fi weapon props and raw part kits, printed in PLA plastic with all necessary assembly hardware included. We've also partnered with Hobby Goblins to provide assembled and painted prop kits for our customers. And don't forget, bring the event home with you.
All right, guys, welcome back. So like I said, we'll go into some, matchup stuff here. Not nothing too deep, but like, as we already talking about, like, Catan apparently is not a good matchup for anyone right now, Grey Knights included, it seems. But yeah, are there any particular layouts you favor, or missions where you see that you're kind of either excited or maybe unexcited about? Like maybe you practice a little more because they're harder for your army. And then of course factions that you're either excited to go up against or, like Garrett said, no. So we'll start with
maybe.
You, Garrett. But any whether you want to start with layouts, factions, or
why don't I'll do banishers if you want to do Warpbane type stuff, David. Does that make sense? Yeah. So banishers actually, I think, has a little bit of a different matchup spread than Warpbane does. Banishers actually really like mono shooting matchups, like a lot. The reason is because like Warpbane, whatever, is fine into combined arms, is fine into melee. I would say mono shooting is probably Warpane's worst matchup. I don't know if David agrees with that, but mono shooting against banishers means that if I run up and you have 2 units in like the relative vicinity, right, I can charge my 10 paladins into like the big thing I want to kill and make sure that I'm within 4 inches of a whatever garbage unit, so I can kill the let's call it a Riptide. I kill the Riptide with 40 damage, 3 melee attacks, right? And then I consolidate 4 and I tag Pathfinders. Now I'm in the middle of the table with 10 paladins, right? And if my opponent falls back the Pathfinders, I get to pick the paladins up and they leave the table. So you can kind of repeat this cycle of like Mist Rapid with a 1 unit effectively being invincible if your opponent doesn't position correctly. So like something like Guard or Tau, just those mono shooting armies, Banishers is really good into, because they have a really hard time playing around Shadows of Anarch, just on how that works. However, matchups like Blood Angels and World Eaters and like Emperor Children, I think gets much worse when you play Banishers because now all of a sudden your shooting is not nearly as good, like on the back end. So I think in terms of like matchup spread, I really like Knights with Banishers. I really like Demons. I really like Bricks. My Bricks versus their Bricks. My Bricks will probably win like every time. So any matchup where it's my big thing against your big thing, 10 Paladins with a Lone Op 18 Librarian basically solves any brick problem you have. You essentially cannot be stat checked when you play Banishers with the triple brick. It's like impossible. Nothing wants to eat 40 Paladin attacks at damage 3 with sustained hits hitting on 2s. Just nobody does. And then the last little piece of it is the entire list. All 3 bricks are Lone Op 18, right? So all 30 of the Terminator, all 20 Paladins and 10 Terminators are Lone Op 18, and they revive. So I'm just going to do a quick thing about some math, and then I'll pass it over to David. So the coolest about this is why it's so badass. So let's say our opponent comes within 17.9 to shoot my brick, right? Just call it a Riptide, sure. He has to interact with me to win the game, so he shoots my brick. Say he kills 3. On average, he's supposed to kill 2. The unit revives. A Paladin revive gains you 3.5 inches toward your target. Okay. So now all of a sudden you're 14.4 away. You move 5. So now you're 8.9, and then you advance. You advance in charge, which on average is a 4, right? So now all of a sudden you're 18 inches away, and it's a 4 or 5 inch charge on average to get to something that was 18 inches away from a 10-man brick of Paladins. It's badass, dude. So cool. So cool.
Yep.
So that happens all the time. Is like they'll poke around a corner, they'll shoot you, maybe kill 3 Paladins. You're like, cool, revive, move 5, advance and charge. Boom! All of a sudden, I moved 18 inches that turn with a 500-point unit. That's supposed to move 5 inches, right? Really, really cool. And then you miss rapid away the next turn to revive in outer space. So good. I can go on about all the cool nuance you can do with that kind of stuff, but I think Banishers, like I said, mono shooting or heavily leaning shooting, Banishers is really good into. Whereas, David will explain, but I think Warpbane is really good into melee and mixed arms. That's kind of where I'm at.
And are there any missions that you think Banishers is better at than maybe Warpbane, or you think you're just kind of
hidden supplies? The reason being is because I'm playing a bunch of reviving units. So on hidden supplies, I don't know how technical you want me to really get here, but basically, there's a way that you can pretty much always have your brick positioned in which you're threatening a revive onto 2 different objectives on hidden supplies. So if you're behind a wall or whatever, and you lost a guy on a previous turn, or they want to shoot you for some reason, right? You can string out the unit to threaten a revive onto both objectives on your side of the table. So you're going to basically be behind a wall, uninteractable, and then revive over the wall at the start of your turn to steal an objective. And that kind of stuff goes a long way when you're playing Grey Knights. Like, if you score primary with this army, you're in really good shape. And then, yeah.
I was saying, just real quick, could you explain the revive from the Paladin to Terminators? Just how that works?
Yep, so both the Brotherhood Terminators and the Paladins, one of the few improvements we got in our codex, actually, is the Paladins gained the Apothecary War Gear. So you have an Apothecary in each of your units that is not a character, so they can't get precision. But at the start of a command phase, you revive a model. And for Paladins, you're reviving a 45-point model, which is pretty sick. So number one, they're all 2 OC on the Paladins, and then they're 3 OC on the Terminators. And you revive, and like I said, you effectively gain 3.5 inches on a revive as long as you can stay in coherency with the revive. So you can be effectively 3.5 inches away from an objective and then revive onto it and take it as long as you're in coherency, which is pretty sick. And then it also happens off the table. If the viewers didn't know that, the War Gear abilities do trigger off the table, like revives and stuff. So if you have 8 guys and you missed off the table and keep it in outer space, you'll revive to 9 off the table, and then you come back in with 9. So something cool you can do is you can actually, if you're at like 9 guys or 8 guys, right, you can rapid ingress behind a wall, and then your opponent can't shoot you, right? And then you revive over the wall to score the objective in your command phase. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do. I mostly use it for movement and to tell my opponent I can do that. because that deters a lot of shooting. Like maybe a shooting activation would kill like 3 of them, but I'll tell them, hey, look, if you kill me, I'm going to pull here and revive onto this point and score it. They just won't shoot me, so it effectively gets you survivability by being able to threaten that on top of the movement that it also gives you. And there's games where I get to the end of the game and I ended up playing with like 2,400 points because of how many dudes I've revived over the game. It's pretty sick.
For Banishers, I think, well, first of all, I also love Hidden Supplies. It's one of my favorite missions to play because I just love having the extra objective. For Banishers and for Warpbane.
Yep.
For Warpbane, it's great because it's easy to hold 2 of the middle objectives, and all of a sudden I have hollow ground and like a 6-inch deep strike naturally in the middle and start on the movement in the next movement phase. But the other big thing for Banishers, I'm sure Garrett knows the way Garrett has his army specs with the big Drakes and Terminators, especially for Hidden Supplies. There's ways to keep the Terminators within 9 of every point of like some of the center objectives, like maybe like 3 of the center objectives. So if the other guy wants to just walk onto the center objective, it's gonna trigger shadows. It's just no way around it. And if they're not walking on to trigger shadows, then they're not scoring primary. So that's another thing I find that's good about Banishers. But
huge, yeah. I went all that without talking about Mist that much. But yeah, David is correct. Yeah, Mist is just also will fry the brain of someone who doesn't really, think
it's
about
your guy. So you're within 9 of completely all the objectives that you want to be, and then if they walk on the objective, you will get to trigger Mist, or they will not be on the objective.
Something else I started doing with the similar thing David said is if like our opponent's playing like a gun line and I'm not able to tag something, you can a lot of times position to where like, hey, look, this is where you can get line of sight on me, right? And he's like, yeah. So I'm gonna make it so I'm 9 inches covering that spot as well. So if they move to get line of sight, then it triggers Miss as well. That's another one that I started doing lately. It's pretty sick.
Nasty.
Yeah. Why is my webcam getting funny? But that's it.
For me,
that's really it for me.
I don't know. For me, I'd say my hardest matchups right now are like 5 Big Knights or the Catan, because it's just like these big, chunky models that I would say Grey Knights is more with the Warpbane. They're more like a scalpel, and those armies are like throwing a brick at you, and you're trying to cut a brick with the scalpel, and you're just like, it doesn't work that good. Otherwise, you could pretty much cut through any other army. But anytime they're throwing these like massive, like big, tough defensive unit at you, that's toughness 11 or 10. It becomes a harder game. I think the hardest matchups I have right now are the Catan matchups, and then when somebody has like 2 or 3 Lancers in their list, and they're sending these massive units into you right away, and they're trying to get the whole game started immediately. You could do it. The problem is when you go in is if they die or not, because they have such a big wound and such a good defensive profile with a high toughness that if they don't die, then you've lost your shot to kill it, and now it's a big problem because it's going to go in and do more damage than it should. But otherwise, this is going to sound weird, maybe like self-praising, but I don't have that many bad matchups, and that's not to say there's not hard matchups. It's just with Grey Knights, you have to play a perfect game to get the most out of them. And a lot of games I play lately are just, I don't really make any mistakes.
I agree with you, actually, 100%. I agree with you.
Every mistake is very costly for Grey Knights. I'm sure Garrett's messed up and lost half his brick of Terminators because he's messed something up. He didn't see something. So the biggest thing about it is you got to know how the Grey Armor flows, and then you got to know the opponent's army really well, because all mistakes are very costly. And then right now, I don't like Guard, for example. Guard on paper should be a really hard matchup for Grey Knights, but I usually I don't think I lost to Grizzle Company the first time I played it because I didn't know what it did. I don't think I've lost it since because I played that game like so precisely that just like a hair left or right, and the Nemesis Force Weapon is going to not hit, right? But I I'm just always playing the games like so precisely. But that comes again with knowing the matchups and then getting in a lot of reps. Like I have so many reps with Grey Knights. Like I said, I've been playing for like 12 years, so it's like that just comes with time. It's a hard army to pick up and do well, but it's also a really hard army to master. I think if our points went down, it'd be a lot easier to pick up and do well.
Yeah,
but
we can
right
find
now,
a way to get like one more unit, like one more 5-man in our list or something. It'd be sick.
I agree. If we had the points to get one more 5-man unit in, it would make a big difference. But we just don't have it. So you have to play the game very correct. You have to play the game without many mistakes. It's a very unforgiving army right now. But if you can play that game and not make the mistakes and understand how the matchups go, you can usually do really well. I have a really good win rate in the guard. I have a really good win rate into Death Watch. But usually I find the Death Watch players they don't know how to play the matchup as well. That's another thing. When you play people with Grey Knights, it's not the most popular army right now, nor has it ever really been. So a lot of games you'll play and you'll see, okay, they're not playing it right. I don't know if that's I guess
I can tell on their first move, basically. Yeah. Like the first thing they move, I'm like, okay, he's getting cooked.
Yeah.
Like sometimes yeah.
It's the games I play, and I usually tell people, but if it's like a big advantage or something, sometimes I don't. Like I'll warn people if it's ability I have, but like I'll tell people I deep strike. But like there's some games I play, they've lost the first movement phase because everybody gets that first game against Grey Knights, I feel like, and then they've made them whole. Like Lewis said, that you make a hole and they'll start making more holes. Because all of a sudden,
all it takes is one, bro. All it takes is one.
The Grey Knights just need that like they need that inch and then they get a mile out of it, basically. So the really good players that play against us, they understand that. So then they'll never give us that inch. They're playing that real strict. I am screening correctly and playing my angles correctly, and they don't give us that inch, and then those become the hardest games.
And that's where the Razorbacks, the interceptors and stuff have become really important because they're what makes space for you on the table to do stuff against the better players. That's why I like they're able to go out there and effectively kill screens sometimes for free. Like if I can turn one fire and fade my interceptor and kill a whole unit, it's like I'm so happy with that. You fire and fade back into your Razorback, kill a whole screen, and then deny their primary, and you're already going second. So you're just like, cool. I don't need basically everything in deep strike. Go ahead, and then you pass the next turn. And then David just 6-inch charges with Crow apparently.
Interceptors are my favorite unit, so big fan of that strat. Love interceptors, especially out of Razorback.
Like 2+ armor on the interceptors and the Razorbacks like a little tank. So people aren't really showing their assault interceptors into it to kill those in. They got to bring out a real unit.
Yep.
But I agree. Those games are where those little units come and play, where you start opening up the field more with those
Soul Librarians too. Soul Librarians are pretty useful at it too.
Yeah.
So it sounds like that Grey Knight, while being having a high floor, they also they're very rewarding to get the reps in with. Like once you can kind of see the play pattern you need to execute, you can generally do well up until like the highest skew of opponents, like Knights, Catan. I would assume you're not very happy to see like Plague Legion with 3 Great Unclean ones would probably be similar Knights.
For Warpaint, yeah, Banishers will beat the shit out of that.
The Banishers is really good because they have the anti-chaos stratagem.
Yeah.
That's hard matchup. And then otherwise, I do find when it's a very good shooting army with a very tough screen, that's also very tough.
Yeah.
They have
supposed
to
be guard. That's supposed to be guard.
The guard is. I feel like I feel the infantry so fast. Like
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Like those 20-man bricks just get evaporated when I usually play them, which is like.
That's fair.
But the really tough armies with the tough screen with a really good shooting right behind it those tend to be tougher games. Because I have to actually start bringing in better units to kill the screen, and then all of a sudden now their shooting units are going to get activated to me.
Yeah.
Those are
Blades of Ultramar with Vindicators and Repulsion Executioners would be an example.
I don't know if I played the Ultramar. I've never lost to the what's it called? The Victrix Guard list. I don't know. When they first came out, everybody was upset about it. I played it like 3 times, I didn't lose to it, and then I played like 2 times when they got nerfed, and I didn't lose to it, and then I played it again when they got nerfed, I didn't lose to it, but just like anybody with like good Centurions, I feel like
Raven Guard. Raven Guard's a bitch.
Raven Guard Centurions are rough. That's a rough one because they're going up and down. They're really tough shooting units, and if they screen it right, you just can't get to them, and they're just going to keep activating them too. And they can screen ball too. So
Raven Guard's still really good. Everyone's not playing it, but Raven Guard's still very good.
Sorry. Sisters with Sacrosaints with Castigators and Wall behind them.
We annihilate Sacrosaints.
I usually just gets murdered.
Yeah, the whole thing on Sacrosaints is basically to like Sisters is like I guess my third army. It's to like string out, tag objectives, die, revive back onto the point, score it, and then be annoying, right? The thing is, they're melted guns, so you can pre-measure their range really easily. Crow can one-tap Sacrosaints 100% of the time, and then Crow is not going to get hit back because they're on an objective, so you can shoot them from like a really safe line. And then the next thing you know, it's turn 2, and you've now killed 20 Sacrosaints, and he's got nothing left to play primary with, and then you just can like run him over.
You can just measure how far the ball guns go, and then measure all their angles before they're going to shoot, and you just avoid it, basically. It
could go badly, sort of, but like I have Sisters down as like a favorable matchup.
But once again, you have to have a lot of experience because those units will destroy everything you had if you let them do it, and they do it very easily. You just have to play very consistent game, which right now I play tempo style game where I'm sending in Razorbacks early, I'm sending in other things early, and I'm kind of like forcing my opponent to interact with them, and then I'm interacting with what they interact with them, and then all of a sudden now they have to bring out their bigger units to hit me, but I still have a couple more units to come in and do stuff.
And then my last two to ask about, just for relevant sake for the releases last weekend. We kind of mentioned them earlier. The CSM, now that they have Defilers, just as a whole, all the Emperor's Children, World Eaters, CSM, the faction, just Defilers kind of across Chaos in general. Do you guys think that that's going to be an issue for Grey Knights, or you guys just kind of think plan?
Bought them yet, but I'd imagine so. I saw that data sheet and I was like, 250 for what? I was like, I'm paying 5 on my
I think Pack-Bound Zealots with a Defiler will be the best accessible list in the game. Recon Guard is the best army in the game, but it's not like accessible for like a normal person. But like Pack-Bound Zealots, I think is going to be the best accessible army in the game, probably until 11. Right? The
Defiler list too. Oh my god.
What's one?
Mortarion Defiler list.
Yeah, and then also like the Defilers in Mortarion's Hammer. If you don't know, people here or viewers, whatever, Mortarion has a aura to let you shoot back. So I shoot the Defiler and I bounce because it has 18 wounds for some reason, and then now the Defiler gets to just full shoot me back.
They do once per turn they get to shoot back, but they just full shoot back.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the Pack-Bound Zealot one full rolls wounds.
The Defiler in the Death Guard detachment, full cover. So now you have cover Plagueburst Scholars hitting you, which is not fun.
so you got ignore cover Plagueburst Scholars that strip cover. So like that give you -1 armor save by pointing at you. So it's like I'm taking AP2 shots from behind the wall, ignore cover, like probably full rolling to hit because I have the dude.
I haven't fought the matchup yet. I keep waiting to somebody to put the files on the board, and I get to see how they perform into me. But my instinct says it's going to be a tough game because, like I said before, I have an issue with dealing with like these big chunky units with survivability, and those Defilers are 18 wounds, right, with the 5+ symbol. So when my is it 3+ armor, 5+ symbol, right? So when my activations go into them, and if it doesn't go my way, that's going to turn scary.
Yeah, I'm probably playing the 30 Terminator list into it tonight. I'm probably gonna get nuked. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I just need to see it. Unfortunately, gotta lose to learn. So,
Yep.
Unfortunately,
you gotta play into it. Maybe you find it out before you.
I mean,
but
I mean, like in my head, maybe it's not that bad, but I don't want to play triple Land Ritter right now. That's like my team's Grey Knight list is triple Land Ritter. I just that freaks me out right now because they die really easy to like. Tau is like really strong, and Tau kills it. One Defiler in Pac-Man Zealots kills it like clean every time almost. So it's like, what am I?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really know what list I'm going to play for teams with Grey Knights. Maybe it's going to be Orcs. Who knows? Maybe I'll play Orcs.
And then the other one is I know we kind of touched on Knights, but with the new Destrier being fast, mobile, and kind of like a mini Lancer. Does that kind of change your guys' opinion of that matchup, or just more of the same?
I mean, I think the reason I have the issue with the Knights right now is the Lancers mostly. I know the 18 wounds it's a big jump to go through, but for 250, I think that profile. Once that thing goes down in points, it's going to be more of an issue, I think. But right now, I think I'm all right against.
Yeah, it's only T10, right, as well. So like, Psy Cannon's wounded on 4s, which is really cool.
I think the problem that I find with Knights.
Yeah, I will say I've been looking at allying one potentially, but like, what?
Which one?
The new one, the 250 one.
I was thinking about allying a Knight too today.
Yeah, I've had a list with an allied Lancer in my phone for like the last couple of months, but I just never tried it. But I don't know. I allied a bunch of Sanctifiers in my list last weekend, and it was bad. So we'll see.
Oh, I own the Gar or the Sisters ally too with the Immolators.
Yeah, it's like cool. It technically can save you points if you don't want to play strikes. So if you don't want to play strikes, that would be the package you play. But you end up losing 80 points, I guess, technically, or whatever. But
yeah, you spend 85 on the Razorback, and you spend 120. So you spend 205 for a Razorback and basically 1 5-man squad. And then if you spend 230, you get 2 5-man Sisters. Both have Sticky and the tank, and the tank's a little bit better. So.
The tank is really good. The Emulators are good. But yeah, the Knight matchup is effectively the same. It's annoying, bad, not fun.
Yeah, I would say the worst matchups are, if you're going to go the worst matchups for Grey Knights, it's going to be number 1. It's going to be anybody playing the Emperor's Talon Custodes.
Agreed. That is number 1 across the board.
That is a nightmare matchup because for some reason they have that 4+ Feel No Pain strat for free. So they take their well, for 1 CP. So they take their tough army. That's already a tough army, and they made it 50% tougher because it gets 4 up Feel No Pain versus Psychic.
And they get to 5 up all the time for free.
Yep. Oh. And that's probably the worst possible matchup. Luckily, I never hit that. But if I hit that, I don't know what I would sit there and I'd be like, oh, okay. Now, funny enough, I did hit a library. It's weird. Sometimes I can figure out how to win games. I hit a Librarius Conclave army or a Librarius from Marines, and he had like 5 Librarians in it. The whole army had 4+ Feel No Pain, and I thought I was going to lose that game, but somehow I won it. I don't know how.
It's funny, if I ever hit the Grey Knight mirror with my Terminator list, I'm going to win.
Oh, yeah. That's another one. If I hit the Grey Knight mirror and Garrett thing over there with the 4+ Feel No Pain Terminators.
Yeah, that's funny. I paired an Assimilated Legion with it on accident one time, and that was very similar because most of their guns are psychic and the bird detachment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not why I'm playing it. Just funny. Psychic is such a nerf.
Mm-hmm. That's probably the worst. That's probably the worst matchup, and then I'd say the second worst matchup is like anybody running 3 Catan. Very because you have to activate your whole army to kill a Catan almost, and
sure do.
Not good.
Yeah, I mean, what else? Like, I just personally don't like the guard matchup, but I also haven't really tried it I haven't played it much lately. Other match, like I love melee matchups, like across the board. Like I really like melee matchups.
Melee matchups are the best because then you just shoot them before they hit you, and then you charge them.
Tau, I've actually come to not hate the Tau matchup that much lately. Worst matchup.
Gene Circle matchup. It's one of those ones where you can just like move up and you rely on your 2+ armor.
I'm with David though. Like we said earlier, is like I'm pretty confident in like a lot of stuff in this game at this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm outside the stat checky stuff that we kind of mentioned. You know, if I get paired into like X thing, I'll be like, all right, cool, I can figure this out. I'll make it work. You know,
Pair into one of those armies that you can kind of, no matter what you get paired into, if you understand what is going on in the game, you can then strategize around it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Moving on to everyone's favorite segment of the show, some pitfalls of the faction, some traps, you know, new players might get, or even experienced players, or things you guys have learned, you know, through experience, you know, mistakes or losses, however you want to word it. So it's maybe, you know, some things to watch out for anyone thinking of either starting it or that have started or are newer to the faction. Just, you know, Garrett, we'll start with you. You know, things that maybe, you know, not all that glitters is gold kind of stuff for the Great Knights, or silver in this.
Yeah.
Matter.
So I think the biggest one is more like basic, is the 2-up armor save. People think that means you're invincible. I think like sometimes when they're maybe starting the game or like learning this faction, like, oh, I have a 2-up armor save, I just can't die if you shoot me, basically. That's just not really true. So if you, even though you do have a 2-up armor save, treat your guys like they're gonna die like Eldar. You know, don't just stand in the middle of nowhere because you have a 2-up armor save, right? I think that's a big one that I hear is like, people complain, oh, I failed all my saves and I died. Well, it's like, okay, maybe you could have been in a spot where you're not going to take the damage, whatever. That's number one. Number two is the combat patrol box. The Venerable Dreadnought's not that good, guys. It's in the combat patrol. You don't have to play it, I promise. It's too many points, 140 points. Usually 100. Huh?
Only if it wasn't 140,
yeah,
right?
Dude, if it was like 120, I would probably consider it. 115, I'd probably consider playing it.
You think what to hit 110, that's when I'd probably put it in.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't want to discourage anyone from trying detachments or whatever, but just keep in mind, outside of the like Warpaint and Banishers, there is some efficiency issues, kind of like in this army in general. If you're not playing Warpaint or Banishers, because you don't have any damage amp basically in any other detachment. Brotherhood Strike kind of does, but there's a lot of hoops to jump through to get to it. But I would say when you're playing this army, just treat it like you're going to die to everything. Play safe. Shoot from max range. You're not invincible. And then this is for me personally, is like I don't charge. You don't have to charge. Like I said, I just never charged like in my whole life. I just no. But obviously you can win playing that way. But if you go to my channel and want to get coaching from me, I'm going to tell you never to charge. So that's for me, because basically charging means you die.
I never knew you played like that. I always thought you played. I didn't know you played like that.
When I play Warpaint, I play like that. Yeah. When I play Warpaint, bro, no charging. Not going to happen.
I charge all the time.
Yeah, Banishers, obviously, I have the charge to do anything. But Warpaint, bro, if I'm charging, you'll check my phone, I'm probably losing. So, but yeah, that's really it. Like I said, though, you can win playing a lot of different styles. Be confident and shoot your guns from max range. That's like where I'm at.
For me, I think for the newer players that fall into the pit trap, just like you said, thinking you're more durable than you are, because you're really not. Almost all your units are one shot. Once you send in a unit into harm's way, it's probably going to die. Even the Nemesis Red Knight, when you send that thing in, it's pretty one shot, because if anybody dedicates real firepower to it, it's going to drop. Another thing I think people do a lot is they'll get into like, you have to understand that when you get into combat, something that's going to be tough enough to live through you. Grey Knights don't have a lot of access to fall back, shoot, and charge or anything. So like, I'm sure Garrett's hit some kind of like unit the Terminators got stuck into, and they just kind of get stuck, and they don't. And if they're not trying to fall back from you, they're staying in that combat. You might live the whole time, but they're going to stall that unit out the whole time.
Yep, that's real.
You don't hit nearly as well when you're not charging in a lot of times. Yeah. So once you kind of get stuck, you can kind of really get your army stalled. I would like all the detachments, just like you said. The only two I really like are the. I wish some of the other ones were better. If I could play swap some of the stratagems around, it'd be great. But it's the only two detachments I find worth getting into the high stakes games and winning, or the Warp Bane and Banishers. It's just the only two right now, and it's such a shame because I feel like. I don't know about you, Garrett, but I really miss like buffing shooting. I really miss psychic shooting. That was probably one of my favorite ways. One of the old things was like you could get +1 damage on your psychic weapons, and you can make your bolters. You can pay stratagem points and make your bolters. You make it pay for stratagem and make your bolters psychic, so you can obviously shoot pretty well with psychic weapons, but
yeah.
There's like none of that now anymore. I miss that.
Psychic is just an active nerf. That's all it is, unfortunately. Now there's nothing is like, there's a bunch of stuff that says if you're psychic, I get a feel no pain. There's nothing that says if it's psychic, I don't get an invulnerable save.
I'm waiting for psychic shooting detachment. I keep waiting for it. It's in Chaos Gate too. Like every time you activate a shooting attack, it asks you if you want to do psychic ammunition.
It's just our range refresh we've been talking about for forever. It surely will come soon.
I don't want a range refresh. I just want like another unit.
Dude, you know what I want? I want a Hobo Strike Marines, bro. That's what
I don't think we're gonna get like an infiltrate unit.
Like, dude, Strike Marines with a cape, dude. That infiltrate.
Yeah. I just don't think we're gonna get infiltrate. I don't think it makes a lot of lore sense. I wish we had it. I all the time. I got no infiltrate.
Here's the detachment I've always really wanted. You know how like all the chaos detachments, all the chaos ones got like a demon detachment where you can ally like 500 points of demons or whatever, and they get like rules. Yeah, like 500 points of agents, and then you know if I within 6 of an agent, the agent unit has like a 5 invulnerable save, and the Grey Knight unit gets like sustained hits, something like that.
That would be cool.
That'd be bad.
See that.
I'm sad that that would have been a cool detachment.
That would have been cool. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like they're not giving Grey Knights that much love right now, so maybe we're right around the corner.
Yeah, we someone on Reddit tallied up every army like updates and what it got over the course of the edition, and Grey Knights were dead last.
I think the last new model besides Crow was, I mean, when I say model, I'm not counting the Grandmaster Dread Knight that got 1 sprue.
Yeah, you shouldn't count that either.
The 1 sprue made me very sad. Before that, other than Crow, I think was just Voldus in that 1 box. So that was like it.
Yeah, we're surely getting something for 11, bro.
Yeah,
Drago's gonna come back on an Abaddon size base, and he's gonna have a pick 3 aura, and he's gonna be broken.
He's gonna be like Logan Grimnar.
He's gonna be sleeveless, and he's gonna have a crack in his shield, bro. I bet, or some shit.
Well, that'd be nice to get storm shields too. I kind of look at I wish I had storm shields sometimes.
Yeah. I look as the basically psychic custodies parallel GW has set them up as. I don't know why they don't have storm shields. I honestly thought that all Grey Knights just had storm shields.
Only one in the there you go.
It took legitimately like a year and a half in the 10th edition for a very good friend of mine who only plays Grey Knight for the most part, telling me every week, no, we don't have a 4-up invul unless you're a Terminator or a Paladin.
Yeah, I mean, you basically do. You got to be AP4 if I'm in cover to put me on a 5-up, so it's like whatever. Basically, an invulnerable.
I'm 11th.
In 11th, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see, dude.
I mean, isn't Voldus's thing that he makes you -1 AP when you're shot, or do you -1 to hit?
So cool thing about Voldus in 11th, right? So he's -1 to hit, and then cover is -1 ballistic skill. So the Voldus unit is going to be effectively -2 to hit, which is interesting. And then you go hidden. Pretty cool.
Voldus is interesting too. He's a damage 3 character, and you don't see those very often in combat.
I know.
What's that? But he's right now he's at 110 points. And I'd rather have a librarian. But he's gonna have to play in 11th edition, I think.
I think -2 to hit, and then going hit in 15, and then when they charge you, you get that mortal wound pulse.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
The minus a hit, and then you get the bring a guy back. It's gonna be it might be a very efficient unit.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna give it a try. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you gentlemen have any final thoughts or words of wisdom or anything, I have nothing else for the fine folks watching.
Well, when you play Grey Knight, be patient. You have to wait. You're not an army that forces action. You have to just wait and keep hitting the right areas. If you play too aggressive, you're just going to lose your whole army. Yep. So the big thing is being patient and knowing your factors.
Yeah, you do not want to be fighting in the middle with this army. You want to be playing on the sides of the table mostly, or shooting down really thin lines into the middle. You don't really want to be in the middle unless you have to be. That's why I don't really go in the middle that much.
That's something that I tell people, what Garrett said, the sides. A lot of times I'll set, we pick up 3 and drop 3. So I'll set up 3 on the left, 3 on the right. And then when I see the other person deploying and start going, I'll pick up whatever side I want to hit. I'll pick up the 3 from that side, abandon the whole side, and hit them with my whole army on that flank and just decimate the whole flank.
You've got to play with our army's designed to play with multiple units at the same time. I was telling at the beginning when I came in here. Yeah.
We're designed to hit overwhelmingly hard in one area.
Yeah, dude. That's it. And we sure can.
Yes.
Yep. And your guys' record, throughout 10th and historically has proven that. So, hope you guys watching this, have learned something, gained some insight, maybe gained some passion for the faction. These gentlemen, if anyone has any questions for you guys specifically, where might they reach you to ask?
Well, go ahead, David.
Well, I'm on the Warp Deskers team. You could message me directly. It's fine. David Ozal on Facebook, and then Almost Functional too. I do some videos on there once in a while. I haven't done any in a while. Busy with kids in school, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. I know Garrett he puts out videos.
Yeah, so I am also on. I don't have a jersey, otherwise I'd be wearing it. It's in the mail, I guess. But I'm on the Warp Dust Crusaders as well with David. It's kind of a not like new-ish 40K team. Got a lot of really awesome players on it. We're basically just up and running. I'll be representing them in ATC Tampa here, not Tampa, ATC Carolina in like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm playing Grey Knights almost certainly, no matter what build. But shout out to them. But yeah, you guys, I've got Objective Secured 40K. It's my YouTube. I do a ton of Grey Knight stuff, and then from there, you guys can get to my Discord where I'm very active, considering I don't have a job. So you may reach out to me in there, whatever, and if you want coaching or whatever, that would help me. I'll help you too. But either way, that's it. I shout out to Lewis. I'll be at Lewis's Onslaught event here also in the next couple weeks. Are you going, David, to Onslaught?
Onslaught 12.
Yeah, it's like May 5th.
I think I'm going. I've won the last one, so I've won the last 2 GTs I went to. I think I'm going to go to. I got to defend it. I feel like.
Oh, so that means I'm playing 30 paladins with 4 enough field of pain then.
No, I don't want to hit you then.
No, I actually don't know what I'm going to play. We'll see. But either way,
Lewis is pretty. What's up, buddy? Lewis is pretty predominant in the community. Shout out to Lewis. Lewis Bencourt. He does a lot for the community. He does both of us. So if you ever have a hard time getting a hold of us, just if you know Lewis, which I'm sure he knows a lot of people, message him and he'll get you to us.
Perfect.
Big shout out to him. His Discord's also going to be in the description section, so that's how you get a hold of him. I'm also on there. I'll also be at Grand Onslaught 12. I hope I don't play these two. That is terrifying for my largely AP 1 or 2 army. But hope to see you guys there. Hope to see any of you there who are watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Everyone, I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you, and thank you, gentlemen, for coming on and for your time.
Thank you. Like and subscribe. See you later.
Absolutely like and subscribe. This man right here, he knows how to make content.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Stop.